About what we're doing. He said, okay, I know where to go. We have to take a drive, and there's a town where a lot of the gang members live who have dreadlocks and facial tattoos, because obviously I was looking for gang members who had dreadlocks. So we get in the car and we were driving for hours and hours and hours, and we ended up in this little village and stayed and found this little motel in town to stay in. And he said, let me go into town and let me see if I could, find some of the people to photograph. So it was a few hours later, he comes back and he said,
it took a long time for me to decide to start expressing the world as I saw it and the world as I felt it. And I think probably a pivotal point for my art was one, the death of a very close friend. And a second turning point for the art that I've been doing was discovering my actual identity as being non-binary and genderqueer. It kind of flipped my world upside down.
First one's pretty straight. It's just like, here I am, I'm conducting, I'm just kind of your normal person. The next one gets a little weirder, and as it gets a little weirder, it also gets queered a little bit, so the gender gets a little bit like, I don't know what's going on. And then the third one is just a complete cross. It's not male or female, and it's over the top crazy. There's clearly not a lot of conducting going on anymore.
In the mid to late 90s, I was living in Williamsburg and Greenpoint, when it was like an underground artist community. I was dressing similar to how I am today in a lot of rainbow colors, but I was wearing a lot of colored wigs as well before it became in style now with wearing colored hair. I was wearing aqua wigs, lavender, pink. I was wearing all different color wigs. I couldn't stand all this black, and for me, I needed to uplift myself and others and help people smile.
I choose images that I really see something of the person's nature in, something that captures a relationship or an expression or a moment that is unique to that person. And the light is often a big part of expressing that person's nature and capturing an element of truth about the person. And so many of my paintings ultimately are portraits of an individual person, or maybe a couple. I love faces, and so I really love facial expressions and seeing the minutia that a person can really show in just a little alteration in their facial expression. And I've always had an affinity towards them. A few months ago, I was drawing with my friend's little son. He's 4 years old, and he was drawing his house, and then he asked me what I was drawing, and I said, I'm drawing you. And so he immediately stopped what he was doing. He dropped his pens and ran over and was looking over my shoulder as I was drawing his face. And he took a look at it, and then he turned to his mom and he said, that's me, and then proceeded to just watch me finish the drawing. His drawing was totally abandoned. And I think part of it was because I was drawing him, and so he wanted to see what I would do. But part of it was that he felt a sort of magic of these markers drawing a face and making a face out of nothing, and taking a look at this and seeing something about himself on this piece of paper that came about in just a few minutes. So there is some kind of magic to that, which I like.